Hi, Sean Purohit here, part of the solutions team here at StackHawk, to talk to you about the Snyk and StackHawk joint offering and the Snyk and StackHawk integration and how it helps our prospects and customers get the most value out of SAST as well as DAST. In this deck, we'll walk through what is StackHawk, what it means for me as being a part of the sales team, how do modern application security teams buy security tools, what does the modern AppSec program look like for which they're buying these tools, and why Snyk plus StackHawk, and a quick walkthrough of the Snyk and StackHawk integration, and finally a couple of answers to the common questions and objections we've heard in the past. Me being a part of the sales team here at Snyk or StackHawk, what does this mean for me? Right. First off, you can close more deals, especially the competitive ones, where a prospect or a customer might be looking for both SAST as well as DAST. We've done this in the past. We've come ahead in competitive deals against companies like NetSparker and Veracode. Even though something like Veracode offers both DAST and SAST, we've still beat them with the Snyk and StackHawk joint offering, where we would package the whole thing together, price together, and so on. Plus, StackHawk is also an advanced technical alliance partner with Snyk. And we've closed deals way before the official integration was ever built. So what does Snyk and StackHawk joint offering mean for our customers? As I mentioned earlier, we've closed many deals together with the Snyk plus StackHawk joint offering. For example, Angel Eye Health bought Snyk for SAST and StackHawk for DAST to give their developers a complete understanding of security issues in their applications and APIs. Using the Snyk and StackHawk integration gives their developers a holistic picture of what application security issues might be existing in their applications and which are most important to fix and how they can quickly remediate those issues. And Breathe Life bought security to make application security a shared responsibility across their organization. And it allows them to have more confidence in what they're building, and that they don't have those obvious vulnerabilities when they're pushing this code to production. All right, how do modern AppSec teams buy security tools today? Right, AppSec procurement is no longer an ad hoc purchase, as you might have seen with your own experience. AppSec teams are buying tools to complement their modern AppSec program. That means they aren't just looking for a single solution that might just offer SCA or SAST or DAST alone. Usually they're looking for a holistic solution that offers all of these things because when they buy these tools, they're buying these to satisfy the requirements of that AppSec program that they're trying to build or have already built within their organization. All right, so what is StackHawk? StackHawk is a DAST or a dynamic application security testing tool. StackHawk basically automates DAST testing in your CI/CD pipelines to enable developers to find, triage, and help fix security vulnerabilities earlier and more frequently in that software development lifecycle while they're still in the context of the code. How was DAST done in the past, and how does StackHawk change that? Right? In the past, running a DAST test was really expensive to implement and usually only scanned a piece of the application as opposed to the entire application at a very, very slow pace. And tests were run periodically, meaning they could be run every month, every quarter, or even every 6 months and so on. In some cases, even yearly. And these tests were usually run against a production environment, live environment. That means that these security issues are already pushed to production, and then they would test these apps and discover these vulnerabilities. Now, how does StackHawk change that? StackHawk allows you to configure the entire scanning procedure via a simple YAML file, and all the configuration would live in that YAML file, which developers are already familiar with. And it scans your HTML, basically web apps, your REST APIs, standard REST APIs, and GraphQL APIs, as well as SOAP APIs very quickly because we ship the scanner to the customer via Docker, which they can then run in their CI/CD pipelines. And the whole goal with StackHawk is not only to find things, but find, triage, and help fix security issues much before they ever make it to production. Right. What does a modern application security program look like? What does this program look like for which the security teams are buying tools like Snyk and StackHawk to suffice all the requirements, right? There are some solutions that will run in app in real time in production while the code is serving real customers, while the code is serving APIs and apps to the real customers. And then there are some tools which are used pre-production before your code is deployed to production, right? And for pre-prod environments, you usually have a combination of SCA, SAST, and DAST that you should run in pre-production environments. That's basically what a modern application security program looks like as far as pre-production environments are concerned. SCA, SAST, and DAST. SCA goes over your open source dependencies, which Snyk is great at. And then SAST goes through the code of in your repo line by line to expose security vulnerabilities, which again Snyk is great at. And then there's DAST, or dynamic application security testing, which does not look at the code at all. Instead, it only talks to the HTTP interface of the application. So it's making real calls, real API calls to these apps and APIs to do things like SQL injection and so on. So to sum up, a modern application security program will have SCA, SAST, and DAST, where SCA and SAST is provided by Snyk, and then DAST coverage is provided by StackHawk. And since both SAST and DAST serve to the same purpose of building this modern AppSec program, SAST and DAST, or Snyk and StackHawk, are usually used in tandem. Snyk or SAST would look for patterns that might expose security vulnerabilities in the code and tells you exactly where in the code a potential issue might be. And then StackHawk or DAST scans for vulnerabilities in the actual web pages and APIs of your application and finds issues by actively exploiting them, as if a malicious actor was calling those APIs or a hacker was. SAST and DAST are often used in tandem because SAST isn't going to find runtime errors and DAST isn't going to flag coding errors down to the code line number. Together, they tell you the highest priority vulnerabilities to address, where they are in the code, and how to fix them. Snyk and StackHawk together deliver the developer-first security experience. The three major points for that are developer-first AppSec, so that you're also looping in your engineering, your development teams to the security motion. Snyk and StackHawk provide security for modern applications and help automate those security tests in your CI/CD pipelines. Right? For developer-first experience, together Snyk and StackHawk test the code and dependencies statically via Snyk, and then test running applications and APIs via StackHawk. Again, these are in pre-prod environments, your lower environments like dev, QA, and staging, and so on, before your application ever makes it to production. And both Snyk and StackHawk equip developers with the relevant information they would need to find and fix vulnerabilities in their development lifecycle. And then security for modern applications. The way modern applications are built today has changed completely, right? And the Snyk and StackHawk joint offering really caters to that. Together, Snyk and StackHawk provide coverage for cloud-native architectures and support those architectures by scanning the code, open source dependencies, containers, and APIs being served for vulnerabilities. And both Snyk and StackHawk aim to automate the security testing right within your build pipelines or CI/CD pipelines. With Snyk and StackHawk, applications can run security tests fast enough to be automated in their CI/CD pipelines. You no longer have to wait hours and days to run a full scan from static to dynamic against your applications. And this enables you, this enables our customers and prospects to find and fix vulnerabilities before they ever make it to production. The motion for considering SCA, SAST, and DAST. how it was done in the past and how Snyk plus StackHawk changes that. In the past, or legacy solutions like Veracode or Checkmarx, they would offer limited prioritization and remediation capabilities and would only surface vulnerabilities without determining compatibility with existing dependencies. Whereas with Snyk and StackHawk, you can automate this scanning in your CI/CD pipelines, empowering developers to basically find and fix vulnerabilities before they ever make it to production. The tool set for such use cases were never developer focused in the past, right? The whole goal there was just to find things and throw a blob of issues or things that the tool might have found to the security teams. Whereas with Snyk and StackHawk, the tool sets were built with developers in mind. So the whole goal here is not only to find things, but help find, understand, triage, and fix things earlier in the development lifecycle, specifically in your CI/CD pipelines or your build pipelines. And then in the past, solutions also did not provide cross-organization project reporting or management capabilities that modern solutions like Snyk and StackHawk do. So what does the Snyk and StackHawk integration itself look like, right? With the new Snyk plus StackHawk integration, we provide market-leading capabilities for validating that a security is not only existing in your code, but the fact that it's also accessible from outside on the internet via these APIs. Basically enabling you to identify which security vulnerabilities are most crucial to fix, and that helps you with prioritization, right? I found issues. Now, Snyk will tell you that an issue exists in your code base, and then StackHawk revalidates that not only does it exist in your code base, it's also exploitable from the outside via APIs. And how do we do this? Once an issue is identified within StackHawk, the integration, the Snyk plus StackHawk integration, will basically correlate based on the CWE ID, pointing the developer to the exact line of code that needs to be fixed, or where you can start implementing a fix, so that they can find and remediate security vulnerabilities in minutes. Right, so what does the integration, the Snyk plus StackHawk integration, look like in action? Right, when a user signs in to the StackHawk UI and goes to the integrations page, they'll always have a SAST integration tile with Snyk in it. You can click here and basically map a project from Snyk with a project from StackHawk. That way, when Snyk and StackHawk find issues for the same project, these can be surfaced to the end user to then take further action upon. And what does that look like? Basically, for any scans that you ran using StackHawk, if Snyk was also scanning that project, in this case, for example, the Node Express Vulny app, I have it set up so that Snyk is also scanning it, and I'm also scanning it with StackHawk. I will have this Snyk logo as long as issues are found between both tools. When I go in to look at the issues found in this application, I'll see a Snyk logo next to each finding that Snyk found, as well as StackHawk. And when taking a look at one of these, StackHawk gives you some information about what the issue is, the types of risks associated with these kinds of issues, a little bit on remediation, some cheat sheets, and also allows you to simulate that same attack via a curl command by clicking on the validate button on the top right. But with the Snyk and StackHawk integration, not only will it find you the issue, but also show you the line of code where you should start implementing the fix. So for example, here I can click on view Snyk details, and it will take me to the Snyk page and give me Snyk's explanation of the issue. Here it looks like an unsanitized input for one of the HTTP request bodies. And then right from within StackHawk, I can also click on view GitHub repo, and go to the line of code where I can start implementing my fix. This is super powerful. This has never been done before, not even by vendors that offer both SAST and AST. We've done this together across companies. With Snyk and StackHawk, we correlate the findings based on the CWE ID and give you that correlation so that not only do you find DAST issues, but you also get the line of code where you can start implementing a fix with the help of Snyk. Thank you for taking the time to go through this deck with me. If you have any questions, you can email Rob at rob@snyk.io or email us at snyk@stackhawk.com. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.